Have you ever had trouble with your mixes translating well on other listening devices? So in today's video I'm going to show you how saturation can help you to solve this problem. So let's go! First of all, what we have here right now, this is just a simple snare sample. I have nothing done to it yet. First step, let's grab a channel strip and let's just compress it a little bit. Just to see on the waveform what happens with just compression. I'll grab a compressor with a, let's say, 40 millisecond attack time and 150 second release time. Sounds like this. We have now going to reach about 10 dB of gain reduction. Level match it. So now we're going to render this one in place. Now it looks like this. Next, now let's go and add a little bit of saturation to it. Just for this example, we're using a heavy saturation. It's more saturation than you maybe would use in a normal mix, but for this example, just to show you what it's doing, I'm going to add a little more than necessary. We're going to render this one in place too. This is what the saturation looks like. Just for a better comparison, let's level match these. I'm going to level match them at the same peak volume. Let's say -6 decibel of peak. So now they have all the same peak levels. So let's go listen to the raw snare first. And now let's say we're going to simulate a mid-range speaker. There's no low end, no high end. For example, these old kitchen radios, these are just to reproduce the mid-range. If we're going to listen to the raw snare with this mid-range speaker, it sounds like this. Almost the half of the sonic experience of the raw snare track is almost gone. There's nothing more, nothing in the low end, nothing in the high end. When you imagine this is your whole mix and the low end and the high end is missing, it sounds thin, quiet, not that impressive as on the full range speakers. Full range speaker, just mid range. And now let's listen what happens if I do the same with the saturated snare drum. Saturated snare drum, full range speaker, sounds like this. And the mid-range speaker, even in the mid-range, there's still a lot of stuff going on with the snare drum, with the saturated snare drum, compared to the other one without saturation. This is without saturation, it sounds way quieter. And with saturation. Just to give it a quick visual experience, let's see what the raw snare drum without saturation looks like compared to the saturated snare drum. Let's grab a Pro Q3 real quick. So on the left side is the raw snare drum, on the right side is the saturated snare drum. And let's, so on the raw snare drum you see just the root frequency, the fundamental frequency, and a dip in the mid-range and a little bit in the top end. And with the saturated snare drum there's way more going on. It's a saturated root frequency, and the saturation gives a little extra harmonics here, for example, and here and here and here and here, and this makes it sound way fuller even when you're just listening to your music on mid-range speakers, for example, on small devices. And when you imagine this is going applied to your whole mix, just the way we just did it on the snare drum, it will make your mix way fuller and way better even on mid-range, or even on small speakers, on small devices that are just focused on the mid-range. So just to give you an idea what saturation is actually doing and how saturation can help to improve your mixes, translate better on other devices. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel to get notified on other videos like this. And have fun mixing, have a great day, and see you next time. Ciao!